I've got a passport to prove it, even, he said. It is a paradise here. The water is crystal clear. There's also Tim Hortons, Rencheck developed, a weakness for the franchise's donuts in Columbus. And plenty of people to talk hockey with. He is a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. So, of course, Sidney Crosby is his favorite player. In true stereotypical Canadian fashion, Rencheck heaps praise upon his colleagues. Insisting what is happening in the area isn't about him at all. His colleagues are incredibly nice, by the way. Anyways, I couldn't ask for a better place to be, he said. The West Virginia steelworker's son has made a new home on a Canadian lake with a vision of the future that has only just begun. I also have United States history as well. That's cool to see that we have. Well, he started in the United States, as said something or the other, and they have Tim Hortons down there, but it's a Canadian company, really, and they have them in a couple states and whatnot. Originally Canadian, I believe. And so that's cool that the Tim Hortons opened it up to him, you know. He had the Timmies and say, you know what, Canada isn't too bad going farther north than Ohio. I have never been to Bruce Power. If I did, it would be like a 4K. I'd have to have a real good camera. I don't even want to go unless I have the really good camera, but who knows? That would be something to get a tour of Bruce Power. And you'd have to sleep on it. It would take months of planning to just do one of those videos or whatever to make it proper, whatever, be ready for it. We just read this article here. Originally posted by Luke Charbonneau, mayor of Saugeen Shores, town Southampton, and Port Elgin and things. Ooh, Bruce Power posted an MLK Martin Luther King Jr. Day homage post. What's this one? 100 days consecutively. All 4 Bruce units running for 100 days consecutively. Well, I've thought myself to be much like a Homer Simpson. He worked in a nuclear plant too. Yes, and he kind of made a lot of mistakes in the nuclear plant that he worked at. And he worked for a boss, as many know, named Mr. Burns. And they say I'm a lot like Mr. Burns too, but I'm not Mr. Burns. I'm actually more like Mr. Burns' sidekick. What's Mr. Burns' sidekick name? This guy. I am a mix of I'm a mix of a lot of people. I'm a mix of Homer, as well as a mix of Mr. Burns, and a mix of this one here that serves Mr. Burns. But anyways, and I have all the funny antics of a Homer. But I don't drink much vodka. And I do hang out with Mo, but my Mo is named Mike right now. And he drinks the beers and gives them to me. Sort of like a Mo, but he ain't charging me nothing. Home to Springfield Power Plant. I wonder if we have these big silos on top of it. I think it's a more modern plant, actually. They don't have the silos. I heard that before. Let's see. Bruce County Power. Bruce Power. Bruce County welcomes you. Let me see. Bruce Power. Bayshore Broadcasting. BrucePower.com. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, you can see here. Bruce Power aims to keep carbon offsets or whatever. Then there's the $13 billion, talking about $13 billion upgrades and whatnot. I bet you they even power things outside of Ontario. Maybe, I don't know. Innovation at work.
The nuclear industry is a leader in addressing global challenges. And Bruce Power has a clear vision to decarbonize our economy and help Canada achieve its goal of net zero emissions by 2050 without sacrificing economic growth. Our Net Zero 2050 5-pillar strategy invests in existing infrastructure, fosters nuclear innovation, provides clean energy, creates green-collar jobs, and mobilizes the energy sector to secure a flourishing future. Clean energy, advanced technology, and medical isotopes. Bruce Power turns ideas into action. Join us on October 14th to learn more about Net Zero 2050.
Submit. Tiverton. They're right on the water too. And they say like most nuclear reactors are located on the water, if not all, or something like that. So it can cool down the nuclear fission or something? I don't know. Look at them. There's 3 separate reactors. There's 3 different plants. Oh, it's right on the water like that, eh? Not too big either. Well, from the pictures, it doesn't look too big. I'm sure it's a big facility. Oh, huh? I don't know, it looks crazy for somebody like me that's never been to a nuclear reactor and doesn't work with nuclear power and is just a kid. The guide to Bruce Power. It looks like sort of spooky a bit. It looks like science, like scientists, like spooky scientists is what I always thought of them as. Not crazy scientists, not mad scientists, but it's a spooky thing dealing with isotopes. And what if you make a mistake? Or there's so much, it's so much responsibility. And they risk their lives. My uncle died well drilling. He got caught in a machine. And I learned a lot about work safety in school and things. Turkey. I've never seen no turkeys, but I don't get up too much. Maybe when I ride around my bike, I'll see some turkeys next year or something. I hear there's some big turkeys. Actually, I've seen a couple turkeys in the field. Yeah, maybe I did. What's this? Our leadership team. Mike Rencheck. President and CEO. There he is. We said his name and said it again in the prior video and whatnot. Reading that article, we learned a lot about Rencheck. We learned a lot about Rencheck and things and a story and whatnot. We got Eric Chassard. He's projects and engineering. Executive Vice President. He is responsible for major component replacement, project management, and construction, asset management, sustaining capital, and site-wide project controls. Rencheck Michael W., that being is President and Chief Executive Officer of Bruce Power. Bruce Power provides over 30% of the electricity for Ontario and produces medical-grade isotopes that help to sterilize 40% of the single-use medical devices around the world. While also treating cancer, Bruce Power provides electricity from 8 nuclear reactors and a 5-turbine wind energy facility. We have a lot of turbines around here. Who else do we got? Chris Mudrick, EVP and